The ocean has always been a place of mystery, a vast expanse where reality and legend blur, and nowhere's is more true than in the stories of ghost ships. Imagine standing on the deck of a small fishing vessel, mist curling around the rigging, when suddenly, through the fog, the silhouette of a massive ship emerges, sails tattered, lanterns glowing faintly, but no crew in sight. Your heart races. The air grows heavy. And then, as quickly as it appeared, it vanishes, leaving nothing but the echo of creaking wood and the lingering sense of dread. What if I told you that these eerie visions are not just tales to scare sailors, but documented phenomena stretching back centuries? And before we dive deeper, if you enjoy unraveling the secrets of the sea, make sure to like this video and subscribe to catch every story of the mysterious oceans. Ghost pirate ships are not just figments of overactive imaginations or the result of too many long nights at sea. They occupy a peculiar space between history, folklore, and the unexplained. These spectral vessels often appear during storms or in thick fogs, almost as if the ocean itself conjures them as warnings or, perhaps, as remnants of lives long lost. Records from the 17th and 18th centuries, particularly in the Caribbean and along the Atlantic trade routes, describe encounters with ships that bore all the markings of pirate vessels' black flags, cannons ready, yet no living soul aboard. These accounts are chilling not only because of what they describe, but because of their consistency across different sailors, countries, and decades. Consider the story of the ship known as the Flying Dutchman. Though not technically a pirate ship, its legend sets the stage for understanding these apparitions. Mariners spoke of seeing the vessel glowing with an unearthly light, its ghostly sails flapping in wind that did not exist. It was said that to spot the Flying Dutchman was to glimpse doom itself. Now, swap the Dutchman for a pirate frigate and imagine the same spectral sight, the thrill, the terror, the unexplainable magnetism, drawing eyes and imagination alike. Sailors were compelled to tell these stories, not merely for their own sanity, but because the sea demanded witnesses. By the mid-1700s, pirate activity had reached a zenith. Caribbean waters were alive with commerce raiders, and tales of vanishing ships or ships appearing where they should not have been became intertwined with the lives of real seafarers. One particularly haunting account comes from the English captain Thomas Thompson, who claimed that during a moonless night near the coast of Jamaica, a pirate ship materialized from the fog. Its hull was blackened, the sails torn and dripping with seawater, yet eerily intact. Cannons glinted as if ready to fire, and the ship seemed to move against the current, a phantom propelled by an invisible hand. Thompson and his crew tried to signal, to hail, but no sound returned. By dawn, the ship had vanished without trace. His log notes almost obsessively the chilling thought. It was neither wind nor tide that carried her. She sailed on the breath of the dead. Many ghost pirate ships share this characteristic. They appear, they are observed in astonishing detail, and then they disappear as quickly as they came. One of the most perplexing elements of these sightings is that they often leave no evidence behind, no wreckage, no footprints, no survivors. Some theories suggest optical illusions created by fog and light, but these fail to account for the intricate details sailors report: figures moving on deck, banners snapping, the eerie rhythm of unseen crew working the ropes. Other explanations dive into the paranormal, proposing that these are the souls of pirates bound to the sea, forever reenacting their final journeys. Accounts from the 19th century provide more structured documentation. The American whaler, the Resolute, logged encounters with a pirate-like apparition off the coast of Nova Scotia. According to the crew, a brigantine appeared on the horizon at dusk, gliding silently over the waves. It carried the unmistakable aura of a pirate ship, the jagged sails, the skeletal figurehead, and a sense of violence that seemed palpable even at a distance. As the night deepened, the ship grew larger, as if the darkness itself were drawing it closer. The crew reported a physical sensation of cold, a pressure in the chest, and a strange, whispering noise. almost like chanting from the rigging. By morning, the ship was gone, leaving only the sound of waves and the nervous whispers of men who had stared into the unknown. Strange sails are another recurring element in these maritime mysteries. Sailors frequently describe vessels whose sails behave as if alive, flapping against non-existent wind, glowing faintly, or appearing translucent. Some reports suggest that these spectral sails emit a low hum, a sound that resonates deep within the bones of anyone who hears it. It's a small detail, but one that contributes to the overwhelming sense of unreality these ships exude. Why do they appear this way? Some suggest a psychological element. The human brain, under duress and fatigue, projects fears into the fog. Others maintain that the ocean holds memory. That energy from violent deaths, shipwrecks, and betrayal lingers, coalescing into tangible forms that can interact with the living world. One of the most remarkable aspects of ghost pirate ship reports is how global they are. Stories emerge from the Caribbean, the North Atlantic, the Pacific, and even the Indian Ocean. In each case, sailors describe remarkably similar details: tattered black sails, skeletal crews, unnatural movement. The uniformity of these accounts challenges simple explanation. Could it be that the phenomenon is tied to the psychology of sailors, conditioned by centuries of oral tradition? Or is there an actual, uncharted dimension of the sea that occasionally intersects with our own, allowing glimpses of a world just out of reach? It's worth considering the cultural context of these sightings. In the golden age of piracy, the seas were a place of lawlessness and danger. Stories of ghost ships functioned as both cautionary tales and psychological coping mechanisms. Sailors faced storms, disease, starvation, and the ever-present threat of attack. Ghostly pirate ships could represent the embodiment of these anxieties, a way for the human mind to externalize danger in a narrative form. And yet, for all the rational explanations, there remains the fact that even modern sailors, equipped with radar, GPS, and satellite imagery, occasionally report strange, untraceable vessels on otherwise empty seas. Consider a report from 1939 by a Norwegian freighter navigating the North Sea. Crew members described a galleon-like ship with black sails, illuminated by a spectral glow appearing directly in their path. Radar picked up a faint signal, yet no land or shoals could explain the presence of another vessel. As they approached, it vanished completely, leaving only the undisturbed waves and a chilling silence. Incidents like this challenge the notion that ghost pirate ships are purely historical curiosities. They suggest that the sea retains a power to astonish and terrify, regardless of technology. Sailors themselves have long treated these sightings with a mix of fear and reverence. There is an old superstition that encountering a ghost ship at night can be a warning, sometimes of a coming storm, sometimes of death, sometimes of a moral lesson. In many cultures, pirates were not merely criminals, but figures of legend, embodiments of freedom and lawlessness. Their spectral counterparts may represent unresolved debts, unfinished business, or simply the persistence of stories that refuse to fade. The ocean, vast and unforgiving, seems to preserve these echoes, delivering them to anyone willing or unlucky enough to see. What makes ghost pirate ships even more compelling is the interplay between observation and doubt. A sailor might swear on his life that he saw a vessel, yet rational explanations abound: mist, distant lights, hallucinations. But the intensity of these experiences, the detailed memories, and the repeated reports across centuries hint at a phenomenon that defies simple dismissal. Is it a trick of the mind, a collective hallucination? Or is there truly something lurking in the fog, something that exists beyond our understanding, haunting the roots where commerce, war, and piracy once collided? Even today, with all our technology, the sea retains its capacity for mystery. Ghost ships have appeared in satellite images, in radar anomalies, and in reports from cargo vessels and cruise ships alike. Each account reinforces the sense that there are aspects of the ocean and the past that remain untamed and unknowable. Some researchers argue that what we interpret as ghost pirate ships could be advanced optical phenomena, mirages, or reflections. Others suggest more radical theories, parallel dimensions brushing against our own, or the manifestation of collective memory encoded in the water itself. One story from the Caribbean captures this beautifully. In the 1920s, a Jamaican fisherman recounted seeing a pirate ship emerge from a storm. The vessel's sails glowed with a phosphorescent light, and a sense of unnatural calm spread across the churning sea. The fisherman claimed he could see the pirates moving, as if frozen in time, performing tasks with meticulous precision, yet none acknowledged his presence. When the storm passed, he found himself miles from where the sighting occurred, with no recollection of having sailed any distance. Was it a dream, a vision induced by exhaustion, or a brush with the lingering spirits of the past? He never found an answer, and neither did anyone else. The allure of these stories lies not just in fear, but in wonder. Ghost pirate ships remind us of the sea's history, the lawless adventures, the betrayals, the battles, and the human dramas that unfolded across its waves. They also remind us of our vulnerability, the fragility of life in a world where nature and legend intertwine. For centuries, sailors have told these stories around fires and in taverns, preserving the memory of encounters that defy easy explanation. And even in an age of satellites and GPS, those tales persist, waiting for someone braver, unlucky enough to witness them firsthand. In the heart of these stories lies a question that sailors and historians alike have pondered. Why do these ships appear when they do? Some suggest they mark the sites of forgotten tragedies, pointing toward lost treasure or sunken ships. Others believe they are omens, manifesting to warn or punish those who cross the line between greed and respect for the sea. And perhaps the most haunting possibility is that they exist simply because the sea itself is a place of memory, capable of holding on to echoes long after the world above has moved on. There is also a psychological element that cannot be ignored. Human beings are pattern-seeking creatures. We are drawn to stories, to narrative, and to meaning. Ghost pirate ships provide both a narrative etched into the waves, a meaning made tangible through fear and wonder. Sailors who encounter these phenomena often report an overwhelming sense of presence, as though the ship is aware of being watched, as though the past itself is conscious. It's a reminder that some stories are too powerful to die, that they persist across centuries, carried not just by ink and paper, but by the memory of those who saw, who feared, who lived to tell the tale. The fascinating part is that these ships do not always portend doom. Some encounters are fleeting, almost serene, a brief glimpse of a world long gone, offering a connection to history that is otherwise intangible. The ghostly sails, the empty decks, the creaking timbers, they are reminders of a time when piracy ruled the waves, and when the sea was a place where anything could happen. The line between legend and reality is blurred. And in that ambiguity lies the true power of these stories. They invite us to believe, to imagine, and to confront the unknown. As the centuries passed, ghost pirate ship stories evolved alongside maritime technology. But the essence remained the same: sudden appearances, eerie details, and vanishing without a trace. In the late 1800s, steamships began to dominate the seas. Yet sailors still reported encounters with sailing vessels from bygone eras. One British merchant vessel, navigating the English Channel on a foggy night in 1872, logged the appearance of a schooner with black sails. What was striking was not just the appearance, but the behavior. It moved against the current, seemingly ignoring the wind, its lanterns casting a greenish glow on the water. The captain's log notes that the crew felt an unseen hand guiding the Phantom, as if it were aware of our eyes upon it. By morning, the schooner had vanished, leaving the sailors shaken and whispering about curses and lost souls. Even in modern times, reports continue, proving that ghost pirate ships are not confined to old maritime lore. In 1973, a cargo vessel traveling through the Caribbean experienced something that defied rational explanation. A pirate-like ship with torn black sails appeared on the horizon, moving steadily through calm waters where no wind existed. Crew members described hearing the sound of ropes creaking and faint laughter carried on a breeze that wasn't there. Some sailors swore they saw figures, hunched over cannons and moving silently on deck. Radar picked up nothing, and the ship faded into mist within minutes. Experts later suggested optical illusions or hallucinations caused by fatigue. Yet the crew's reports were detailed, consistent, and undeniable. One recurring theme in these sightings is the sense of unfinished business. Many ghost pirate ships are believed to be the remnants of catastrophic events, mutinies, battles, or deadly storms. The Mary Celeste, though not a pirate vessel, serves as an iconic example. Found adrift and abandoned in 1872, her crew never explained why she was empty, fueling legends of phantom ships and ghostly sailors. Some theorists believe that pirate ghost ships may be similar, vessels doomed by betrayal or misfortune, wandering eternally across the waves, replaying the events of their demise for any living witness unlucky enough to cross their path. The psychological aspect cannot be underestimated. Sailors spending long weeks at sea often experience extreme isolation, fatigue, and sensory deprivation. Under such conditions, the mind can conjure images that are terrifyingly vivid. But what makes ghost pirate ships unique is the precision and repetition of these visions. Different witnesses, separated by time and space, describe remarkably similar ships, crews, and behaviors. These consistencies suggest something beyond mere imagination, a pattern that hints at a deeper phenomenon, one that intersects human perception, memory, and the untamed energy of the ocean. Stories from the South Pacific add a layer of mystique. Local legends speak of the sailing shadows, ghostly vessels that appear at night near reefs and atolls, their sails glowing with a faint phosphorescence. Fishermen describe encountering ships that seem alive, almost sentient, adjusting course as if aware of their observers. These vessels are said to harbor pirate ghosts, trapped in eternal pursuit of treasure or vengeance. The parallels with Caribbean legends are striking, showing that across cultures and oceans, the idea of spectral ships resonates with sailors' fears and imaginations. One particularly detailed account comes from a Chilean sailor in the 1920s. While navigating the Strait of Magellan, he reported seeing a ship with black sails emerging from the fog. The crew observed figures moving along the deck, apparently unaware of the living witnesses watching them. Cannons were in place, ready to fire, yet no sound came. The sailor noted a sensation of weight pressing down on him, as if the very air around the vessel was charged with malevolent energy. By sunrise, the ship had vanished, leaving the sea calm and undisturbed. Stories like this suggest that ghost pirate ships are not merely visual phenomena. They evoke a full sensory experience, influencing the mind and body in ways that defy conventional explanation. Historians have attempted to classify these occurrences, seeking patterns and connections. Some suggest that ghost pirate ships appear most often in locations with a history of maritime disaster storm-prone waters, pirate havens, or trade routes where countless lives were lost. The hypothesis is that these waters retain a form of memory, a resonance from tragic events that occasionally manifests as ghostly apparitions. Skeptics argue that these claims are romanticized or exaggerated, but the sheer number of consistent reports across centuries makes it difficult to dismiss entirely. Another element to consider is the symbolism inherent in these stories. Pirate ships, with their black sails and ruthless crews, represent danger, freedom, and rebellion. Encountering a ghost pirate ship is not just a matter of seeing a vessel. It's facing a narrative of risk, lawlessness, and unresolved history. The sea becomes a stage, and the ghostly ship is a reminder of what once was a living relic of chaos and human ambition. The fact that these vessels often appear at night, in fog, or during storms amplifies the symbolism. They exist at the margins of perception, between the known and the unknown, In some cases, ghost pirate ships seem to interact with the living world. There are reports of vessels appearing near modern cruise ships, cargo freighters, and even naval patrols. Witnesses describe being followed, the ghost ship matching their course, then vanishing without warning. Some claim that these encounters are warning omens that caution against greed, hubris, or neglecting the sea's power. Others suggest that the ships are drawn to certain types of people, perhaps those attuned to history, danger, or the mysteries of the ocean. The patterns remain elusive, adding to the allure and terror of these stories. The role of folklore and storytelling is significant. Ghost pirate ship narratives often blend historical facts with supernatural elements, creating stories that endure because they resonate emotionally. For sailors, sharing these stories was a way to process fear and uncertainty, to find meaning in chaos. For the rest of us, reading or hearing these accounts is an invitation to imagine the unimaginable, to peer through the veil separating our world from one where pirate crews roam, endlessly bound to their ships, caught between life and death. One striking example comes from a report in the Caribbean during the 18th century. A merchant ship en route to Havana was overtaken by a sudden storm. Through the rain and darkness, a pirate vessel appeared, its sails shredded, its crew ghostly and silent. The merchant captain described an instinctive understanding. This ship was not hostile, but it carried a message, a story of lost treasure, mutiny, and violence replayed endlessly on the waves. By dawn, the pirate ship was gone, leaving only the rolling sea and a sense of awe that lingered long after the encounter. Modern research into these phenomena remains limited but intriguing. Some scientists explore atmospheric conditions, optical effects, and infrasound as possible explanations. Infrasound low-frequency vibrations below the threshold of human hearing can induce feelings of anxiety, dread, or even the perception of ghostly presences. Fog, light refraction, and distant reflections can create visual distortions. Yet none of these factors fully account for the consistent reports of pirate ships with detailed, dynamic behavior. The mystery persists, compelling us to consider possibilities that straddle science, psychology, and folklore. There's also the question of treasure. Ghost pirate ships are often associated with lost riches, sunken loot, or cursed cargo. These stories captivate not just because of fear, but because they tantalize with the possibility of reward. Treasure, danger, and the supernatural combine to create a narrative cocktail that has fueled countless legends. Sailors who spoke of these ships often did so with a mixture of reverence and greed, knowing that some mysteries are better observed from a distance. The endurance of these stories in popular culture is testament to their power. Books, films, and television continue to explore ghost ships, pirate legends, and sea apparitions. While creative liberties are often taken, the underlying fascination reflects a deep human need to confront the unknown. Ghost pirate ships are mirrors, reflecting our fears, our curiosity, and our longing to connect with the past. They remind us that history is not always confined to books or museums. It can appear suddenly, shimmering on the horizon, a warning or a story waiting to be told. The emotional impact of these sightings is profound. Sailors consistently report feelings of awe, fear, and an almost spiritual connection. The ghost ships are not just vessels, they are vessels of memory, carrying the echoes of countless lives, struggles, and ambitions. Each appearance is a reminder of the ocean's vastness, unpredictability, and its capacity to preserve the past in ways that defy explanation. The combination of visual spectacle, narrative, and sensory experience makes ghost pirate ships one of the most compelling maritime mysteries ever recorded. Historical records also show that some ghost pirate ships have had long-lasting cultural impacts. Certain legends influenced navigation practices, inspired laws, and shaped folklore that persists to this day. In some coastal communities, tales of ghostly pirate vessels are passed from generation to generation, becoming integral to cultural identity. They serve as reminders of local history, the dangers of the sea, and the moral lessons embedded in stories of piracy, greed, and survival. Even skeptics find themselves drawn in. The repeated and detailed accounts across time challenge pure rationality. There's something deeply unsettling about a ship appearing where it shouldn't, moving in ways that defy physics, and vanishing without trace. The phenomenon sits at the intersection of imagination, observation, and the inexplicable, making it a unique case study in how humans perceive the unknown. Is it hallucination, tradition, or something genuinely supernatural? The evidence remains tantalizingly inconclusive. Some researchers have noted that these sightings often coincide with moments of personal or collective stress. Storms, battles, or periods of uncertainty seem to correlate with increased reports of ghost pirate ships. It's as if the sea channels not only natural forces, but also human emotion, manifesting in forms that are as terrifying as they are mesmerizing. The ships act as storytellers themselves, conveying warnings, histories, or unresolved conflicts from the past. They are not just images, they are active participants in the ongoing dialogue between humans and the ocean. Stories of ghost pirate ships are also instructive in understanding human psychology. They reveal how memory, expectation, and fear can interact with perception to create experiences that feel undeniably real. They remind us that even in an era dominated by technology, the mind and the environment can produce phenomena that defy easy categorization. These stories compel us to remain humble, acknowledging that the world holds mysteries that exceed our comprehension, especially in the vast, untamed spaces of the sea. The persistence of ghost pirate ship sightings into the modern era is perhaps the most compelling aspect of this phenomenon. Even with radar, satellite imagery, and advanced navigation systems, reports continue to surface from sailors, fishermen, and even casual travelers who find themselves in the right or wrong place at sea. These modern encounters echo the stories of centuries past. Ships appearing from the mist, black sails flapping in non-existent wind, ghostly figures working the deck. The continuity suggests that these apparitions are not mere relics of folklore, but a living part of maritime experience, bridging past and present in a hauntingly tangible way. Some contemporary theories suggest that ghost pirate ships may represent residual energy from extreme events. Shipwrecks, battles, and tragic deaths could leave a sort of imprint on the ocean itself, a lingering memory that occasionally manifests to human perception. This idea, while speculative, finds curious parallels in other natural phenomena, echoes of sounds that linger, light refraction creating illusions, and geological memory in seismic activity. The ocean is vast, deep, and largely unexplored, a domain where conventional rules of perception may not always apply. Could the ghostly vessels we see be a convergence of physical, psychological, and historical forces? It's a question that remains unanswered, yet endlessly fascinating. One story from the early 2000s illustrates this intersection of history, perception, and mystery. A Caribbean cruise ship crew reported a schooner with dark, tattered sails appearing near the edge of a reef. The ship moved against currents, its deck crew visible but silent, their forms vaguely translucent. Cameras captured faint images, yet analysis showed nothing concrete. The passengers described a chilling sensation, as if the ghost ship carried with it centuries of fear, greed, and desperation. When it vanished into the mist, it left behind an inexplicable calma, stark contrast to the terror it had invoked. The encounter reminded observers that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, only experienced. The emotional weight of these stories is remarkable. Ghost pirate ships elicit not just fear, but awe and wonder. They force us to confront our mortality, our fascination with history, and our desire to find patterns and meaning in chaos. Sailors describe a visceral response, heart pounding, a sensation of cold pressing against the skin, a weight in the chest that feels like time itself has slowed. The ships are not passive apparitions, they interact with perception, memory, and imagination in ways that are profoundly human. They are vessels of emotion as much as they are vessels of wood and sail. Throughout history, ghost pirate ships have been interpreted in various ways, reflecting the cultural and psychological needs of their observers. In the Caribbean, they often appear as cautionary tales of greed and betrayal. In the North Atlantic, they might serve as omens of storm or misfortune. In the South Pacific, they carry echoes of indigenous lore and colonial encounters, blending memory, morality, and maritime danger. Despite the differences, a unifying theme emerges. Ghost pirate ships are persistent reminders that the past is never fully gone. That history, memory, and human imagination can intersect on the open sea in ways that defy logic. The allure of these vessels also lies in the balance of fear and fascination. No sailor who encounters a ghost pirate ship leaves unchanged. There is a thrill in the unknown, a magnetic pull toward the mysteries of the ocean, even as they terrify. This duality is central to the enduring power of the phenomenon. It offers both a glimpse into history and a confrontation with the supernatural, blending fact and legend into a narrative that captivates and haunts. Analytical perspectives add further depth to our understanding. Some historians examine the socio-political contexts of these sightings, noting correlations between pirate activity, maritime disaster, and the frequency of ghost ship reports. Others explore the neurological basis of the experiences, prolonged exposure to monotony. Sensory deprivation and stress can create hyperreal hallucinations, while cultural expectations and folklore shape their form. Even when approached scientifically, the phenomenon resists complete explanation, highlighting the complexity of human perception when faced with vast, unpredictable natural environments. Yet, despite attempts at rationalization, there remains an undeniable magic in the stories. Ghost pirate ships connect us to the past in ways few other phenomena can. They are reminders of the lawlessness, adventure, and peril that defined the golden age of piracy, while simultaneously engaging our imagination in a timeless narrative. Each sighting is a story unfolding in real time, a fleeting intersection of human perception, history, and perhaps forces beyond comprehension. It is this intersection that gives the tales their power. They are at once historical, psychological, and profoundly mysterious. Some encounters have even inspired modern cultural explorations. Authors, filmmakers, and game designers draw on ghost pirate ship stories to evoke tension, fear, and intrigue. They are archetypes of the unknown, vessels that carry meaning across centuries, cultures, and media. And the fact that real sailors continue to report encounters keeps the legends alive, reinforcing the notion that some aspects of the sea are eternal, unbound by the limitations of technology or reason. There is also a philosophical angle to consider. Ghost pirate ships challenge our understanding of reality, memory, and the persistence of history. They remind us that perception is not always reliable, that the line between the tangible and the spectral can blur. Encounters with these ships provoke reflection on mortality, the legacy of human actions, and the ways in which stories shape our experience of the world. They invite us to accept ambiguity, to marvel at mystery, and to recognize that some truths may exist only at the edge of perception. The enduring fascination with ghost pirate ships lies in their combination of drama, history, and the unexplained. They are symbols of human ambition, danger, and transgression, replayed endlessly across the waves. The black sails, tattered banners, and silent crews evoke fear, yet they also spark wonder. They force observers to confront the unknown, to imagine worlds where time, memory, and human experience intersect in hauntingly tangible ways. Every sighting is a story, a fleeting glimpse of something both historical and supernatural, and a reminder that the ocean still holds secrets that defy explanation. Consider the lesson embedded in these apparitions. The ghost pirate ships teach vigilance, humility, and respect for the power of nature. They embody the consequences of hubris and the persistence of memory. For sailors, they were warnings. For historians, they are fascinating anomalies. For the rest of us, they are invitations to explore the edges of imagination. In witnessing, or even just learning about these ships, we participate in a tradition that spans centuries, connecting with the fears, hopes, and stories of those who lived and died on the sea. In the end, ghost pirate ships are more than eerie tales. They are cultural artifacts, psychological phenomena, and maritime mysteries all at once. They remind us that history is not just written in books or preserved in artifacts. It floats on the water, shimmering on the horizon, waiting to be seen by those with eyes to notice. And perhaps, in their spectral voyages, they carry a message that some stories refuse to die, that some mysteries persist, and that the ocean, vast and unfathomable, still holds secrets beyond our comprehension. So next time you find yourself on the open sea, whether on a small boat or a massive cruise liner, remember the tales of ghost pirate ships. Watch the fog, notice the movement of the sails, and pay attention to the whispers of wind and water. For somewhere out there, just beyond sight, a spectral vessel might be gliding silently across the waves, a reminder of the past, a mystery of the present, and a story waiting to be told. And if you do glimpse such a ship, know that you are not simply witnessing a legend, you are becoming part of it. If this story of ghostly vessels, haunted seas, and mysterious sails captivated you, make sure to subscribe and join our journey into the unexplained. The ocean has more secrets to reveal, and together we will explore them, one ghost ship at a time.